Hi, everyone. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes. I'm going to give people a little more time. I will repeat this for anyone else who joins, but if you go onto your control panel, you will see a tab that says Handouts below the questions and the polls. If you click on that, you are able to download a copy of the PDF version of the slides and then 2 of the handouts that we will be using today. Okay, 4 minutes and then we'll get started. Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to the webinar, Who Buys What You Sell, a Step-by-Step Process. My name is Catherine Walsh, and I am with NBDC PTAC, and I will be the moderator today. Our PTAC program is part of the Nebraska Business Development Center. We are a statewide program, and the government contracting services we offer include registrations with SAM, assistance with set-aside certifications and self-certifications, proposal and bid review, and assistance with post-award processes. The webinar today is the first webinar of our 2020 series with RSM Federal. The next webinar in the series will take place on May 14th and cover creating a step-by-step government sales strategy. For now, our PTAC program and NBDC have gone virtual. Any event we are able to move to a virtual format, we are doing so. So the next workshops we are offering are on April 22nd. We will have another webinar on the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification, or CMMC. This webinar will be a repeat of the webinar from March 13th and will again be presented by Redberry Innovations. So if you were unable to attend the March 13th webinar, please register for that today. On April 24th, we will have a workshop on developing an effective capability statement, and that will be in a webinar format. And then, so we'll have it going through the same system as this. We'll walk through some slides about how to create a capability statement, and then we encourage you to make an appointment with one of our consultants after to have a one-on-one Zoom consulting meeting about your specific capability statement. If you're interested in any of these upcoming events, you can always email me or register at ptac.unomaha.edu/events. Let's get started with today's webinar. During the webinar, if you have questions, you can type them into the question box on your control panel, and we'll have time at the end, and I will moderate everyone's questions to our presenter. And then I have uploaded all of the handouts for this webinar to the control panel. So if you go to your control panel right above chat and underneath polls, there's a handouts tab. If you click on that, you will find 2 handouts that we are using today, and then a PDF copy of the webinar slides. And so you should be able to download them from there. Because I put them on here through the system, I will not be sending out an email with the slides and the worksheets because you can download them. But if you have trouble doing so, just send me an email and I will send you them via email. Okay, so now I'd like to introduce our presenter for this webinar, Josh Frank, the managing partner at RSM Federal and is a leading authority on government sales and business acceleration. With 30 years in the government market, he specializes in bridging government sales strategy with business strategy. Mr. Frank is author of Amazon's #1 bestseller and Insider's Guide to Winning Government Contracts. Companies that use his strategies have won more than $2.6 billion in government contracts. Mr. Frank was awarded Veteran Business of the Year and Industry Small Business Advocate of the Year. He serves on the board of directors for the St. Louis Veterans Advocacy Foundation. He's a former intelligence officer, and he has a master's in management information systems and a master's in business administration. So welcome, Josh, and thank you for being here today.
Thanks, Catherine, and welcome to everyone this morning on this, well, where I'm at, a sunny COVID day. And yeah, so, you know, COVID has made changes. I'm not planning on going through impacts via COVID. However, if you have questions afterwards, I'm obviously open to that. So what we're going to be talking about today is who buys what you sell and how much do they buy and how often do they buy it. I'm not going to go through all of this. Catherine already put it through. You know, my specialty are tactics and strategies of positioning in the federal space. So if you haven't seen one of my webinars before, I am incredibly, I go down rabbit holes. I'm incredibly detailed. And this one specifically, well, if I would get back to my original slide, sorry about that, guys. Let's go back up. From an expectation perspective, this is probably one of the most detailed webinars that I give. This is intermediate to advanced concepts and techniques and strategies. It is a ton of information. When I say a ton of information, it will be a fire hose today, but it's okay because it's being recorded. If you are not familiar with the new SAM site, System for Award Management, if you are not familiar with pivot tables, which are absolutely required, then you're going to need the video, okay? However, if you learn what I'm teaching here today, you will be light years ahead of other companies in terms of understanding what information you need and where you can find it and how you can get it, okay? There's no right or wrong way, okay? When I do this presentation, I do it different every single time because there's so many different steps. Now, we have diverse attendees. We have everybody from, we have PTAC counselors, we have companies that are completely brand new to the market. We have folks that are probably very experienced, but they want to get to that next level. Okay, so we have a lot of different attendees. The systems we're going to be looking at, it's garbage in, garbage out. Okay, and you're never going to find everything you need or want. Okay, so you need to set that expectation. You know, yes, I'm looking for XYZ in one of the systems. Sometimes you're going to find it, sometimes you won't. Sometimes you won't find it. It's there. You just didn't search correctly. That's normal. Also, and I say this every time, I get tired of saying it, but I had nose surgery over a year ago and it failed. I was one of the 5%. So if you hear this, Now, of you that are familiar with federal procurement data system, they've already moved all of the ad hoc, the search functionality to
Hey, Josh,
Bandit.
I'm sorry to interrupt. You're breaking up a little bit.
Okay, can you hear now? All right, I am going to, Kath, can you hear me?
Yeah, say something else. It's kind of.
Yep, I'm gonna call in on the phone. Everybody stand by.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let's do. All right, folks, be patient. Give me a second. Okay, I am going to exit and then I'm going to come right back. So I'll be hang tight.
Okay.
Come on. Catherine, can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Everybody else, apologize for that, but a lot of people are using the bandwidth. So let me go ahead and get back in and share my, yeah, give me controls again, please. There we go. Show my screen. And all right, Catherine, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. We're back on.
All right. All right, let's try this again. So all the F4 advanced querying has been moved over to SAM already. However, they're moving everything to SAM on May 16th. So as a result, this demo is the first time you know, and a lot of folks have asked for it. Nebraska PTAC is the one they're going to get it first. This is pretty much 100% system for award management, and they're all their new search functionality. And so there's going to be a lot of value that comes out of this, not just for the data of past contracts, but also I'm going to show you some tricks on how to look for opportunities. Okay, so I always say there's a lot of value in watching someone go through it step by step. There's a ton of different ways. I've already told you this is going to be data overload. Don't freak out if this kind of stuff is new to you. It's like anything else. You just got to learn it. And I'm going to be shifting between a whole bunch of websites. It's not a dozen. It's about 4 now because of the government changes. And just to be clear, to do this, you're going to need a good computer. So if you have an old computer, you can still do it, but it's going to be slow, okay? Because, like one spreadsheet can be a million fields of data. Now, before I continue here, Catherine, am I still coming through loud and clear?
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. So there's really only 4 sites that we're gonna run through today. NAICS for the lookup for the companies that are really new, System for Award Management, USA Spend Gov, and FPDS for one item, and you'll see what that is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk through and demonstrate how you as a company, each of you should be doing your propensity reviews, right? And again, propensity, who buys, how much, how often. Now, I'm going to briefly just show you some slides. You have these in the packet. I've given you the cheat sheets, okay? So for example, these are the websites and URLs you want to open, right? I already have these open, so it's going to be faster. This is the step. These are the steps I'm going through, like what I'm typing into the computer, what websites I'm going to, what I'm filtering, right? And what pivot tables am I doing? What fields am I using? And so all of these slides are going to be in the handouts to the right, okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and I am going to first go, okay. Now, for those of you that already know NAICS code, just hang tight. This won't take long, but for those of you that are thinking to yourself, okay, I'm new to the government. I've been told, or I think I know what my NAICS codes are. How do I really verify? Well, one of the very first starting points is I'm just going to type, if my computer will work, construction, okay, and I'm going to search. And and by the way, this website, this is just the NAICS Association. It's free. Everything I'm showing you is free today. But you can look through here and you can see all the various, codes. And let's see here. Do you find 541330? I know that my company does engineering services, right? 541330. I also know that, show you another one in here. Let's do 561210. It's not listed in there. That's okay. Probably I'm just searching wrong. The bottom line, you can look through all of these. Hey, do you do machinery, manufacturing, etc. And so this is a great place to type in keywords and find NAICS codes. Now, you may say to yourself, well, that's great. All right, so Josh, I did the search. I think I have found all of the NAICS codes that I should have. But what's a good way to really verify? And a good way to verify is to go look at companies that are in your space and go look at their NAICS codes. So I'm going to go over to usaspending.gov. And while I'm doing this, Catherine, just make sure we're still recording. I think it is. You don't have to respond. Just double check. And I'm going to go over to profiles and recipients. Okay. Now, The reason why I'm going here, you know what, let me go back and show you something. If I go into SAM and I just type AECOM, now in the engineering space, AECOM is a massive billion-dollar company, okay? But if I search for AECOM and SAM, I get 64,000 results, okay? Correction. Let me go back. I'm not looking for a word. I'm looking for entity information. Entities, those are companies, and I'll type AECOM. There's 264 companies, okay? I want to know the headquarters. So this is one of the things that USA Spending, USAspending.gov is good for, is if I go into profiles, recipients, and let's go back to the start, recipients, and I do AECOM and hit return, you see this P? That's the parent. That's what I'm looking for, right? So notice I just quickly went through between 3 different sites. I did the NAICS just to look up my NAICS codes. But even for all of you that have NAICS codes, if you're still questioning whether they're the right ones, you know, I then go into USA Spend, right? And you can see their DUNS number. So if I click AECOM here, you can see 4.1 billion. And that's obviously the one I want. I'm going to copy that DUNS number, okay? And then I'm going to go, then I am going to go into beta, and I'm going to simply type that DUNS number. Voila. That is the global DUNS number. This is the headquarters account. And when I click AECOM, okay, now this shows you everything, right? First thing I want to do, I want to verify my NAICS codes against theirs, okay? And look at that. Their primary NAICS code is in fact 541330. Now I am also, I also have the code, I think 561210, and look at that, they have it as well. All right, so that's probably a good NAICS. And then I've got 236220. 236220, and they've got it as well. This is just a really basic, this is high level, but it's a good way of verifying. And, you know, if you're a small business and you want to check other small businesses, you know that you've met or you're the potential teaming partners, you can go straight into SAM and just verify all that. You know, so many people only use SAM for their own registration. There's a lot of intelligence you can be using on other companies by using SAM, okay? Now, I want to know where AECOM is getting contracts, okay? I believe I have confirmed that what my company does is similar to what AECOM does, okay? And so we're going to do a standard search to identify how much has AECOM made in the last fiscal year, and where did they win their contracts? Now, to do this, I have to sign in. All right. Yes, I'm going to accept. If you guys haven't gone through this yet, you need to create an account, okay? Because everything of real core value on SAM, you have to have an account. Now, of course, this is fast. Let me go ahead and get my code. And it is 532813. Let's go ahead and all right, and I'm now logged in. Now, if I go back to the home page, almost everything that we're going to be doing here today, we're going to be using the data bank. So you see these three lines, you click that, and when you're signed in, you have access to all these pieces. Pretty much 99% of the time, what I use the data bank. Now, the data bank, I'm going to be walking through two different things today here with the new system for award management. Standard reports and ad hoc. Normally, if I run a standard report, okay, and by the way, they have a whole bunch of stuff here. These are all like preset type of reports. I'm going to do the one for contractor search at the bottom. Now, if I click it, this is what you get, okay? Just a few fields. Now, I'm going to go back because I already saved my criteria. That's another reason why you log in. See, I've got AECOM. It says last 3 years, but it's, Yeah, we'll do last 3 years. That's fine. And I type AECOM. Okay, and then I execute. And it'll take a second here. And it shows you, and this is you can't do it by DUNS number, okay? This is purely keyword, which is really frustrating, okay? It's one of the issues with SAM right now. And so if I go back again, just to show you, all you can do is the vendor name, right? And which is silly because AECOM's in a bunch of different company names. And if you do organization, I just don't need this stuff. So the only things I recommend, right? You could do contracting region, but you don't know what the numbers mean. Again, this is pretty poor right now. And so all you need to do is the start and the end dates and the vendor name. Okay, I'm showing you the standard. I'll show you advanced that makes this a little easier in a minute. But when you execute, this is all you get. What's the vendor name, total number of contract actions, the dollars, percent of the actions, and the percent of dollars. Folks, this doesn't do you any good, okay? But I found something out. I learned something that blew me away, and that is, it has about 90% of the advanced functionality if you simply right-click, drill, and do award detail. Don't worry about all that other stuff. You simply right-click on your standard report and do award detail, and give it a second because it is going to be pulling in a lot of data, okay? And so, if you don't want to do the advanced ad hoc searching, which we're going to be going through, you'll still get about 80% of the value if you go through this standard search and you right-click, do award detail. And if it doesn't pop up here soon, I'm prepped and I will move straight to the spreadsheet that downloads from this. Come on. All right. When this report, there it is, look at that, okay? Now, there are 128 pages, okay? If you look up here, 128 pages, and you can see instead of 4 fields, look at all the fields, okay? Initially, I thought you had to do advanced queries for this, but this is like a down and dirty way of getting a whole bunch of data. And then if you look at the top here, there is an export button. You click that button. And when you click that button, it brings up this spreadsheet. Okay? Now, if I were to count the number of data fields, there are 978,000 fields. Almost 900,000 fields of data, okay? That's a lot of data. That's also why you sort of need a stronger computer. Now, we know this has all the different AECOMs in there, right? So we're going to create a pivot table. The only way that you can do anything with government data is having a pivot table. Just simply go to Insert in the top navigation,
and the far left is pivot table. Click it. This little box pops up. Don't worry about anything, just click OK. So you insert a pivot table, you click OK. All right. Now, on the right, before I start doing this, for those of you that are new to pivot tables, these are all the fields that are in the spreadsheet that we just downloaded. Look at all that contact information. Okay. And you have 4 quadrants: filters, rows, values. I almost never use columns. So I always use filters, rows, values. So the first one we want to do is I am going to search for global. Actually, I'm just going to type DUNS. I want global DUNS number. And I'm going to click it, drag it, and put it in rows. So you can see we've got, I don't know, 30 odd companies, right? Now, I also want the NAICS code. So let me type NAICS code, N-A-I-C. Okay. I want the NAICS code and the description. Okay. And I'm going to move the global DUNS number. Watch what I do here. On the bottom, I'm going to move global DUNS number down below. And then I'm going to do action obligation. My keyboard must need new batteries. All right, action obligation, and I put it into values. Okay, now I am very OCD. I need, when I'm looking at my spreadsheets, I want to see dollars. So I'm going to click the column, B, I click B, select currency, and get rid of 2 decimal places. Okay, now, right as it looks, I still don't know which one of these is the AECOM headquarters that's made all this money. So what I'm going to do, and by the way, if you lose your quadrants, it just means you clicked outside your table. Just click anywhere back in your table. I'm going to move, watch what I do. I'm going to move the global DUNS number up to filters. You notice up at the top now, global DUNS, and it says all. I'm going to search, because I know their number from what we just did was 1535 6. There it is. Okay, and I'm going to hit OK. And what it just did, I don't know if you saw it, but it just changed all the numbers. So what I'm looking at is I am only looking at the AECOM with the global DUNS number. Okay. Now looking at this data, I'm gonna sort it a little bit here. The NAICS code, you see all these different NAICS codes, right? My company doesn't do all these. My company does those 3 that we just talked about. I'm going to move the NAICS code. I'm in the quadrants. Just like I moved the global DUNS, I moved the NAICS code up. And I am going to click that arrow, and I'm going to type the first one, 541330. God, my keyboard, 541330. And I am going to say, okay. Now, that's just 541330, 1.3 billion. I have 2 more NAICS codes I need to add. I need to add 561210 and click the little box, add current selection to filter. Hit OK. Now, you'll know you did it right because my NAICS for facility support services is now there. And now I'm going to add the third one. And that is 236220. Okay, click add to current selection. Now, how cool is that? I now know that a company that does what I do, okay, specifically AECOM, with those 3 NAICS codes, right, for commercial, for building construction, engineering services, and facility support services, this is how much they made in the last 3 years. Okay. And so, and I'm going to go ahead and sort, to sort anything, click on the number, right click it, sort it, large to small. Okay. Because I always want to look at my numbers from large to small. Okay. So you're looking at this. And again, now folks, this is the standard report. This isn't even the advanced ad hoc reporting yet. Okay. And that's how powerful the standard reporting is in the new SAM. Okay. It has its bugs. There are things that drive me up the wall, but this is pretty powerful. Now, using this exact same table, I look at this and I go, okay, that's great. They do what I do, but I'd love to know who the heck they're selling to. Well, we're going to add the contracting agency name. Okay, so give me 1 second here. And let me X out of this. Contracting agency name. And I'm going to drop that. I'm going to drag it, click drag, and put it under the NAICS. Hold on a second here. Put it under contracting agency name. Let me just click the box, see if it'll do it. There we go. Again, every time you add something, you got to right click the dollars, sort large to small. Now we're going to go more granular. We're going to get to the point today where you're going to actually have emails of people you can reach out to, names of people you can talk to. Okay. So I'm going high level and I'm going down. Well, look at this. For each, again, this is just the company AECOM for the 3 specific NAICS codes in the last 3 years. For engineering services, which I know is my primary NAICS, I should probably be looking at the Department of Defense. Navy, Army, and Air Force are all in the top 4, right? Facility support. Army, NASA, didn't realize that. I should probably be looking at them. So in terms of, next month, the webinar that I'm giving is, how to build a sales strategy, right? You must have this information in order to build your sales strategy, okay? So that's a quick little high level on that. The next one I want to do is we're going to use the same table, okay? We have the 3 NAICS, the NAICS description, we have the action obligation, but I just want to look at my primary NAICS, okay? So I'm going to go back up into here and I'm going to do we're going to search and do 541330, okay? And I only want to, right now, my research, I want to look at the Army, okay? And even though Navy's more, maybe where I am in the country, there's 2 or 3 Army installations or posts, okay? So I want to look at the Army. I'm going to go back to my quadrant and move contracting agency, click, hold, and drag up. And now you can see I have 3 filters. The DUNS for AECOM, NAICS for 541330, engineering services, and I'm going to type Army. And there it is. And I'm going to hit OK. So AECOM for engineering services was awarded $388 million. This is good stuff. Now you say, okay, who in the Army is this company actually winning contracts with? And so the next field we're going to add is contracting office ID. And I'm going to drag that down below. Now, for those, again, remember I told you this is fire hose day. Remember, again, and I'm doing this just to make sure everybody's calm and collected. All this information, like for example, I'm here right now. I'm actually, because I printed the slides out so I could actually run this webinar. We have the green fields already in there, right? I said, let's look at 541. So, let's look at just the Army. So recognize you've got the cheat sheet to go with it. Now, again, I have to reorder. Right click, sort, large to, that's small to large. Let's do sort large to small, okay? Now, you look at this, you go, what's a contracting office ID, right? Well, let's go ahead and add the contracting office name so that you can see what that ID goes to. Right off the bat, let's look at this one. Whiskey 91278. That is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers District. That's an Army Corps district in Mobile. What's Mobile? Probably Mobile, Alabama. Okay. Another one. Let's look at this one. You look at this and you go, "What is ACC?" It's Army Contracting Command. Some of these you may have to Google, right? But you'll figure it out. It's really easy. If you were to do Army ACC, Google would immediately say it's Army Contracting Command. But let's look at these two, okay? I want to look at this one, and I want to look at this one, okay? These are the two that we're going to use as an example today. And so, but let's say for a moment you go, that's great. I think I understand what that is, but I'm still not sure. Well, we are going to first, we're going to copy that contracting office ID for that Army Engineer District. And we are going to go to FPDS, right? Now, I've told you that for the most part, FPDS is being moved over. But I'm going to go to Worksite. And if you look over here on the far right, there's a list of contracting offices. We need that. By the way, this is one of the handouts on the right side, okay? You want to make sure you download that. I don't know what's going to happen with FPDS, but you want to keep a copy of that somewhere safe. And it brings up this spreadsheet. This is all 6,800 contracting offices for the United States government. And if you look at column E, I'm gonna left click it to get the whole column, and I'm gonna find and paste. And I want to find that code. And let me highlight it. We already know it's Army, right? We already know that it says Army Corps Engineer Mobile. Look at that. We've now just confirmed it's Mobile, Alabama. Okay. And so, in my notes, I'd probably, write down here, this is the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and Mobile, Alabama. Boy, my keyboard's killing me today. Alabama, right? Now this one, you have no clue. And so I am going to copy this one as well. We're going to go back to the list of contracting offices. I'm going to select E, and I'm going to find and paste. And there it is. And this one, this is Redstone Arsenal in Alabama. Okay. So, these codes, Redstone Arsenal. All right, my keyboard's acting up, so we'll stick with that, okay? This is really good stuff. Most people have no clue what these codes are. But when you download the data from SAM, and then you also use the list of contracting officers, It is incredibly powerful, okay? So next thing, I want to point something out to you. I'm going to copy, again, the contracting office code for the Army Corps of Mobile, and I'm going to go back to SAM, okay? And I'm going to go to the home page, and I am going to do contract opportunities, okay? And I'm going to type that contracting office ID code. And now, for the most part, let's see here. What? Let's see. Hold on one second, folks. Come on. Change the filter. I want the contract. Nope. We're going to skip that. Let me see here. I should be able to find them. Here you go. W91278. Okay. Now, that's a solicitation number. Every opportunity on SAM has a solicitation number, right? The first 6 digits of every solicitation number is the ID number for the contracting office for that military command or that federal agency. Look down here. It even says U.S. Army Engineer District Mobile. Okay. Here's another one, W91278, etc. Okay. So recognize simply that that contracting office ID code is all over all these systems. You just have to understand what it is and how it can provide you with value. Now, I'm going to go back. Let me make sure I'm logged in. I am still logged in. And I am going to show you how to take the information we just did and actually find some really solid opportunities. And so I am going to go to first, I'm going to go to my NAICS drop down and search. And again, to get here, simply just go to SAM, go to, I don't want award data, I want contract opportunities. And we're going to say, you know, let's just do 5, 4. Now, what did we do before? Let's just do the same one and hit search. Once it comes up, all right, I'm going to pop down to the, let's get rid of that. All right, we have 100,000 active opportunities or sources sought or awards in SAM right now. I'm going to run down to NAICS and I'm going to type 5, 5, 4, 1, 3, 3, 0. Okay, add it. I'm then going to add our second one, 5, 6, 1, 2, 1, 0. I'm going to add facility support services. And then I'm going to add the last one, 2, 3, 6, 2, 2, 0. Okay, and now I want to go to type of notice. I want sources, I want special, no, I don't want special notice. I want sources sought. I want pre-solicitation, and I want combined. I don't want all these. Actually, I'll do solicitation as well, and then combine synopsis solicitation. Okay. And then here's the thing. If we go back to this FPDS spreadsheet, okay, and I do control find, and I find that, again, this is mobile, right? I want that zip code. Another thing this sheet is good for, 36628, okay? So I'm going to go down to, up to, you have to change your filters. It's not there by default. I want the contracting office location, Come on, mouse. Sorry, guys. All right, hit update, and then go to the bottom. And there it is. Come on. What did we say? 36628. 36628. And oh, I got to hit return. Now, if you look at all of these, 47 results, right? They're all W91278. They're all the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So if you were targeting, okay, I've gone down a long rabbit hole here, but if you were targeting and said, I know we should be selling to the Corps of Engineers in Mobile, Alabama, you can set a query, a search that you can then save in SAM, and you see it all. Okay? So now, also on this, let's see here. Let me pick an example. Let's see here. Now I'll just pick one of these, right? Aircraft maintenance hangar. Okay, let's say that sounds familiar, right? Well, for those of you that already know, at the bottom of every single one of these opportunities is contact info. Okay, this one only has email. Oh, those guys and gals, I'll tell you. If I go to another one, let's just click this one. Go to the bottom. You got a phone number, right? So we're continually drilling down into that information. Now, let's get back to collecting intelligence information, okay? And what I'm going to do, let me check, see how we're doing on time. We're doing good. So I'm now going to do an ad hoc search. I'm going to go back into my SAM. Again, you have to be logged in, and you go to your data bank. Now, this is ad hoc. Click it, and you have two options: award IDV or other transaction. Do award IDV, information report. When you open that up, you'll have a button to create. Now, I've already created one, so I'll show you what it looks like. Excuse me, what it looks like. By the way, the directions for putting this together is in your handouts. Okay, I have gone through a lot of time and effort to help you guys simplify the process. Okay, and so there's only a couple of fields you need to put in. You need to do a start. You need to do an end date. Okay, I'm going to do 1 fiscal year. You then also need to select your attributes. Your attributes, these are just the fields. Okay, if you click each of these folders on the left, they have a ton of fields. Each one has fields. Okay, I've selected all the fields that I always use, and they're on the right. There are 100 of them. Okay, those 100 fields are listed in the document that I gave you. You will have to go through one by one and add them, find them and add them. First time it'll take you about an hour, okay? But once you have it set up, you never have to set it up again because you can create new reports from it, okay? And then you do dollars obligated for the metric. I always do that. And in this case, I'm going to do a metric for, I just want to see 541330, right? That's my primary NAICS code. And so once I do that, at the bottom here, it's hard to see, you hit run report. And when you click that, it brings up this spreadsheet, okay? I mean, look at this. This is row Delta Bravo. There's 100 fields of data, okay? There is a million, or correction, there's 100 fields that you're downloading, but there's a million, literally a million fields of data in here. So now that we've got that, right, that's just for engineering services, we're going to run a pivot table. And so I'm going to go up to Insert, Pivot Table, just like last time. May take a second here. Come on. You mean not responding? My computer will get there. That's why I said you got to have a fairly strong computer. Once the screen, just click OK. Come on. All right. And then you've got all your data over here on the left. So I am going to add, first we're going to do NAICS. I want NAICS code, NAICS description. I want dollars obligated. So very similar to the last pivot tables we did. Put it in values. I want the, here, let's do this. My OCD is kicking in. You got to bear with me. We're going to do currency and get rid of the decimals. Okay? So this is for the entire federal government. So this is the start of who buys what I sell, right? Not just for the Army or not just at, mobile district. Who buys engineering services, right? So we know $41 billion in just the last 12 months. Holy smoke. So I want to do a high level. Hey, let's do the department name. Okay. Contracting department name. And nope, don't do that. Contracting department. Where are you at? Here we go. Bring it down. I'm having some challenges with my mouse. There we go. And right click, sort large to small. Hey, based on my NAICS code, man, if I'm not looking at the Department of Defense, I don't know what I should be looking at, right? I mean, what, 75% of all engineering services of my NAICS code are DOD, right? Followed by GSA. So clearly for my NAICS code, I should be looking at DOD. So, but that's not enough. That doesn't help me target. So I'm going to get rid of that. I just go down into my quadrant and drag, click it out and let go. And what I want is I want the agency name. Okay, let me just get rid of that and click agency, contracting agency name. And right click, sort large to small. Remember, DOD was at the top. Now it's broken out by the service, right? Or by the various subordinate agencies, FEMA or, Border Patrol versus, DHS, Homeland Security, right? And so now we've got a little bit more visibility on who buys what I sell. Now I want the contracting office ID. Come on. I'm going to throw my mouse out after this. And there you go. Remember, those are the contracting office IDs. That's a spreadsheet that we looked up. It was in, Mobile, Alabama, Redstone Arsenal, Alabama, right? And so let's, I can also add, don't forget, contracting office name. You can still see, this is Naval Facilities Engineering Command, right? So what I want to do, though, is I want to look more deeply into the Redstone Arsenal and the Army Contracting Command that we looked at previously, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and move the contracting office ID. Come on, mouse. All right, I'm going to get rid of my mouse pad. See if this works any better. Oh my gosh, it does. Drag that up. Contracting office ID. I am going to add those IDs, Whiskey 58RGZ, and I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm also going to add another one and do, come on, Whiskey 91278. Add it to the current selection, hit OK. And it didn't work because I didn't do multiple to start. So everybody hang with me. All right, get rid of all. And folks, you will have the same challenges that I'm having. All right, let's do this one. Come on. And do it one more time, because I need you to see both of them. Select multiple. Let's do whiskey 91278. Add to the current selection and hit OK. There we go. All right. So you can see we had the entire federal government, but I could have just said, look at Army, but I just want to look at these two military installations, right? And you can see $520 million, right? Now, remember, this is just for the one NAICS code, because that's the only query we did. Now, I want to know who I can talk to at these locations. And so I'm going to do prepared by. And I'm just going to click that box. And then I'm going to right-click, sort, large to small. Some of the emails will get through. Other emails won't get through, right? But you've got contact information. We've drilled down. We went from the entire United States Army to, all for 541330, or for the entire government, then just the Army, and then these two locations, and then we find some contact info. And if these emails don't work, then you see where it says on John Vandiver? Shoot, I'd go into SAM and just search for John Vandiver. And the odds are it'll bring up his phone number on some opportunity, right? So you're moving back and forth between different systems. So far we've looked at NAICS codes, we've looked at various agencies, we've looked at contracting office IDs, and we've looked at a little bit of contact information. But there's something else we need to look at. Just because these are, let me pull out the prepared by. Just because the core district and just because the Army Contracting Command, these two locations, just because they're spending all this money on engineering, on your or my NAICS code, doesn't mean you can bid on those. There's a difference between an awarded contract and an IDV, an indefinite delivery vehicle. Most of you will hear it. Most people hear of an IDV as an IDIQ, an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract, or as a MATOC, as a multiple award contract. If you're not on that vehicle, you can't bid on any of those opportunities. So we want to verify, hey, there's enough money being spent within the core engineer district and within the Army Contracting Command, what's on the screen, but what percentage of them are full and open bids were full and open bids on SAM. So we're going to need to add a field called IDV type, okay? And I am going to click it and add it. Now, I am also, let's see here, so here's the thing. If you look at, here, I want to fix this. Hold on one second. I want the IDV type above here. Nope. Bring it down one more. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. Okay. Of this 520 million, if I do, let's see what that's 56%. This one equals 12%, and this one equals, you can use a calculator, 31%, okay? And so If it's blank, it was on Sam. Let me say that again. It was on Sam. Because if it says indefinite delivery, that means all of that money was spent on a vehicle that a bunch of companies competed on, and only they're allowed to get the business. If this number was 5% for blank, I'd say, you probably don't want to target those customers, those prospects. In this case, 32%, 166 million. Yes, that's a good verification. They put a lot of stuff out on SAM, and there's going to be stuff that I'm going to be able to bid on, right? So, because so many companies, right? You can hear the passion in my voice because I truly love helping small businesses. You could put searches into SAM and go, oh, look how much, other people will say to you, look how much money, they're buying of your NAICS code at this location. You need to have a search report on SAM emailed every day. Well, guess what? You keep looking for stuff and you can't find it. Well, it might be because they do almost everything through these delivery contracts. So until you get onto one of those contracts, you want the blank. You want 166 million, right? Minimum, you want a percentage, right? I would say at least 30%. This will help your sales strategy and help you target, okay? Now, another question. How well do they support small business? That's a good question, right? And so I'm going to get rid of the click, hold, drag out, this IDV type. And I want to see their size selection for these contracts. Do they really, let's see here, contracting officers, size selection. This is another great field. In mobile, small business, right? Equals. Again, you could just use a calculator. I'm just using basic. It's 10%, right? Army Contracting Command is 0%. That can't be right. 0 equals that divided by that. What am I doing wrong? Oh, because it's millions, so it's like almost nothing. So guess what? I'm targeting mobile. I am targeting the Corps of Engineers for my engineering services. I am not going to be targeting Army Contracting Command at Redstone. Okay? How cool is that, right? 10% small business. It's not 23%, but it's still $51 million, right? So that's another using the contracting officer business size selection. For those of you that sell product, now this is probably a bad NAICS code to use, but you can also identify how often very specific contracting offices are using credit cards to buy. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the contracting officer business size selection, and I'm going to do credit card. This is what you guys hear as, come on. Where's my credit card? Micro, no? Hold on. Oh, purchase card. There we go. Let's see. Army engineers do not use credit card for this NAICS code. And neither, and yeah, it really doesn't. Neither does the Army Contracting Command. So if you're a product company, if you sell product, let's say you're a textile company, right? When you put your NAICS codes into your tables, right? When you do this yourself, you're going to have, yes, a certain amount, right? So this is another great way of figuring out how to get some quick tactical sales, which agencies, which military commands, all the way down to the contracting office level, who actually is using credit card, okay? One last thing on this one, let's get rid of the purchase card and contract types. Most of you want to do firm fixed price. Type of contract pricing description. This will tell you for these specific contracting offices. Remember, contracting office ID. We've got those two, you know, the whiskey 9178, etc. Well, let's see here. If I sort large to small, clearly predominant is firm fixed or fixed price with incentive. And then you got some price incentive and cost plus. But again, folks, I'm only using like 7 or 8 fields. And don't forget, there are 100. There are so many cool things you can do, but I can't do it in an hour, right? And so you can also see the contract types. Now, for those of you, let me see how we're doing on time. We are going to probably go just a tad bit over, but this will be recorded. So if you have to go, you can go. And we lost some time due to the audio. I am going to remove the, let's say for those of you who go, well, who should I be teaming with? This is a really important part, okay? So if you need to go, go, but if not, stick around because this is a critical piece, okay? I'm gonna get rid of the contracting office, get rid of this, correction, great. All right, so I need to put the contracting office name back. There we go. All right, contracting officer business size selection. So let's go back to size. Let's add that. I'm just gonna click that box. Okay, and we've already seen this, right? But now I want to see, I want to find some other small companies to team with. And so I'm going to type contractor name. And I'm going to add it. Now, you would think that putting contractor name would work really well. Look at all these blanks. That can't be right. Look at it, the majority of these are blank. The reason why is because contracting officers normally don't put the company name into the report, into their data. They use the cage code, okay? So I'm gonna remove the contractor name, and to find teaming partners, we're gonna use cage codes. Now, all of you have cage codes. Many of you have probably never used your cage code, right? It's very specific. Cage code is for the Department of Defense. But I want to partner with some of these companies. And so let's do, let's see. And again, this is mobile. There's an opportunity, right? I know I'm supposed to be targeting mobile Alabama. There is an opportunity. I don't think I can prime it. It's a small business set aside, but I want to be on a team, okay? Well, right here is an example, the 07838, okay? And I go to Sam, and I go to entity information and type that code. It's Tetra Tech. Look how quick and easy that was, right? Again, you have all these contracting office ID codes. Just plug it into the entity information in SAM, and it's Tetra Tech. And when I pick it up, okay, oh, they're in California, and here are the people I need to call. It is that quick and that easy, okay? And I already know they do 541330. I know they have won $15 million worth of contracts with the Army, with the Corps of Engineers in Mobile, Alabama. And now I know who to call. So, you know, it takes a while for you to mentally get through and go, how do I move between all the spreadsheets and the websites? But right now it's just been a couple of websites and a couple of spreadsheets. Now, let's say, for example, I don't want the contracting, instead of the, here, let's see here. Let's get rid of that and get rid of that, okay? And so let's go back up here. I want, let's say I'm looking for an 8A, okay? And let's do contracting office name again, so I know which one. And let's say we're looking for an 8A company, okay? I could pick joint venture, but I'm just going to do program participant. $7 million of this 226 million. So, or 233. But I need contact information. So say it out loud with me. What do we need? We need the cage codes. Okay. And so I'm going to click cage code, and it looks like this one right here, 22 million. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go back to my search, enter the information, paste that code in. This one's AECOM. I'm going to click it. Oh, I removed small business. Oh, that's no. These aren't. Yes. All right, here they are. So I click this one, right? Because this is yes, they are 8A. Copy it, go back, paste it, search. Come on. It's Trinity Analysis and Development. I go to the bottom. I have my contact information. It is that simple. You can do the same for Hub, SWSB, et cetera, et cetera. Finally, before we close up, because I'm already running over, we're going to go back to our table here. Now, you may say to yourself, some of you may have socioeconomic set-aside. You know, how valuable is being woman-owned or veteran-owned or service-disabled, right, at these specific contracting offices, right? All right, so I taught you how to figure out which contracting offices you should be looking at, right? Do they actually do a lot of stuff with 8A or woman-owned? Your status means nothing, okay? Your status it doesn't mean nothing. Your status doesn't win you a contract, right? Just even if you think you're 8A and you're going to get sole source, you're not winning anything because you are certified something, okay? It's the value you provide. But you do want to know if the acquisition at these contracting offices actually uses any of your statuses. Otherwise, you probably are not going to try to tell anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the is vendor business 8A. Let's get rid of that cage code. And, you know, I'm going to move this to filter, or correction. I'm going to move the contracting agency to filter. And I just want to see Army. It's very similar to what we just did, okay? Okay, and I'm going to get rid of that contracting office ID, right? We only have those two. I want all of them. I want all of them. And there you have it, okay? And I'm going to sort it, large to small. Wow, Army Contracting Command, Orlando, 1.7 billion. And then again, all I have to do, I'll just do one example here. I'm going to do disabled. Are you service disabled? And click. You will immediately see for every single contracting office in the entire United States Army how much they're giving you to 8A in the last 12 months. Okay? So you can test that for everything. So let's go ahead and move to close up so we can get to some questions, okay? This is what we just covered. So, you know, you look at all this, you go, oh my gosh, he was moving so fast. There's so much data. That's why this is on demand, okay? That's why this is on demand. This is why I've given you all of my cheat sheets. And if you look at the top, we now know, hey, all their contracts in Alabama, right? There's those two codes, right? You're going to do this exercise from multiple locations. Your research is not simply how much money the government spend on my NAICS code. Okay, that's why companies don't do contracts, because they don't have a strong enough sales strategy. Again, the actual building your sales strategy next month. We looked at small versus large. We looked at set asides. We looked at a single award versus an IDIQ, right? Single contract means it's on SAM. We found information. Okay? So, what did we cover today? A lot of data, a lot of information, a ton of intelligence. We also looked through how you run pivot tables, validation, researching competition. Actually gave you some bonus on how to do some search. And we did a bunch of tables. Folks, you're going to have to do it a ton of times yourself. But everybody that I've taught, they get better and better. Okay? So before we go to Q&A, I have a couple of recommendations. One, connect with me on LinkedIn. Okay, connect with me on LinkedIn. I put a lot of stuff out. Two, if you listen to podcasts, we've got the #1 podcast in the nation. It's called Game Changers. Interview experts, primarily in support of small business all over the country. There's a whole bunch of free templates, capabilities, within our FA platform. You can join for free, and then make sure you're working with your local PTAC. And finally, I've got 2 #1 bestsellers on Amazon. If you had to get one of the books before the other, get the Insider's Guide, and then you can do Game Changers. With that, I know I have gone over. I apologize for that. And Catherine, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you to help me. If you have any.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. I don't have any questions so far. If you guys want to go ahead and type them into that question box, I can ask them to Josh for you. So I'll give you a couple minutes.
Yeah, and by the way, if anybody, reminder again, you've got the handouts on the right. Do not make the mistake to not download those. Okay, make sure you get the handouts. And number 2, if with the handouts you're really still running into some issues, send me a note at contact, and we'll. Yeah, Catherine, I think we've shell-shocked, but what I just went through is what can't tell you how many, a lot of companies charge thousands of dollars to do that process, and I'm just giving it to you for free.
Okay, we have Felicia wants to know if you do consultations. I will just say that you can also contact a PTAC consultant with this process, Felicia.
Yeah. So who asked that question?
Felicia.
Yeah, so Felicia, I'm not allowed to answer that question. So the answer is start with your local PTAC. And then if you have other questions or you'd like to talk to me offline, yeah, feel free to call, but you always start with your PTAC.
Okay, Josh. Yeah, I'm not sure. There might be information overload here. We don't have any questions as of now.
No, that's okay. The questions normally come after when people try to implement. I do have a question for you, Catherine. When will the on-demand webinar be available?
As soon, probably by the end of the day. So if you need it, though, you need to request it from me. So just send me an email.
And they all have your email, right?
Yes, they do. cwalsh@unomaha.edu.
Excellent. All right. Well, Catherine and team, thank you very much. And Catherine, it's all yours.
Okay. Well, thank you, Josh. And thanks everyone for joining us. Hopefully you can get registered for one of our next upcoming webinars. If you have any other questions, just shoot me an email. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye now.